Welcome everybody to GSC Week 1. Today, I am your host, The Yusk, and I'm joined with...
With me, Evasive. What's up, everyone? We're here with Season 2 of GSC, and we're starting off with Division 6.
Yes, that is correct. The Division 6 Week 1 against Versatile versus BT. And taking a look at the lineup, we have runner-up Bobby join the team. Brand new to the squad. Just picked up this season, did not really participate in Season 1 for this clan, but it'll be very interesting to see what he can provide for this team moving forward in Season 2 of GSC. Also on the list, we have Kato, Rick, Tony Tong, and Noah's Ark, the bagger for Versatile.
Yeah, I honestly, I'm really excited for this team. Like we have the biggest name, well, not the biggest, but one of the biggest names in Mario Kart history for the most part, Bobby. BC3 Ultra. He's running the season. He's not bagging in the upper divisions like he's always had. I'm pretty sure it's his first time running, and like I don't know if he like ran in WL and like leagues before that. I could be wrong, but very excited to see how Bobby does in this division. And then even like the other runners in this team, I think are very capable. Kato ran for MY14 last season. I teamed with them last season, and he's doing pretty good. There was like some like small like little miscommunications, some small like driving issues, but that's just kind of like how it goes in like lower divs. And then we see like Rick and Tony Tong here. I'm pretty sure like very new additions, very new to like the whole war scene and stuff. So I'm very excited to see how they do. And then with Noah's Ark bagging, I've like talked to Noah before. He's like a friend of mine, and like I feel he's just kind of just excited to like get into it and just really get into the war scene now because he's been playing Lounge for like a really long time. So very excited to see how this team does throughout the entire
Yeah.
season, really.
Oh, absolutely. Very interested to see what Versatile can do, especially because in Season 1, they were, they were starting to pick up, on the right path of things. They were winning a couple games here and there, and now they're having a chance to prove themselves in GSC Week 1. So it'll be very interesting to see, to say the least.
Yeah, yeah, Versatile. They didn't really make it to playoffs last season. They finished like bottom half of Division 6 last season, and like they kind of had like a little bit of like a turnaround, like in terms of the people that are playing in the season. So like it's a little bit of a revamp. You still have like some familiar faces, like Elena's registered in it, and like certain other people, but in general, it's kind of just like it's just like a new team kind of all meshing together, and I feel like they're gonna improve as the week goes on, or as the season goes on.
Much agreed. Now going into the next team, we have BT, Alex, top of the list, running with Hedwig, Sosic, Tunes, and Claws bagging. Now, I'm not really too sure what Hedwig has to offer to this team, but I do see him quite often in tier 3 when it comes to lounge. So he is a very consistent runner. I would say, he gets the job done when needed. And personally, I feel as though he's probably going to pop off for this team if all things go to plan for BT.
Yeah, I fully 100% agree with that. Hedwig, I feel like kind of has like had a major turnaround in like the past year, even just like in lounge, and like even just like in the war scene. I'm starting to see him a lot more in like some just playing like some casual wars and like different teams and stuff. So I feel like he'll be kind of a key player for this team. Um, I feel like also Sasak I feel like he wants to do like a lot better this season because like he was in Baja Life last season, and not gonna lie, like Baja Life was like more of the lower side of Division 5. They didn't really like get too many crazy wins. They're always just like they weren't getting like blown out, but they lost by like a decent amount. So I feel like for him, it's kind of like a redemption season in a way. Same, I don't know. I'm not too sure which Alex this is actually, so I don't have too much info on him. But I'm sure if he's in the lineup, he'll do pretty great. And then we have Tunes running, which I find really interesting because like he's usually bagging for a lot of the times I see him in war. Like he bagged for L not too long ago, and he's bagged in like other like midish tier teams. So seeing him run this season, I'm like really curious to see how his driving is. And then Claw's bagging, I'm pretty sure he's like a recent bagger. I'm not 100% sure, but I feel like the battle between him and Noah is gonna like kind of it's gonna kind of show a lot, in my opinion, just seeing how like lower division baggers will play.
Yeah, I think the bagging overall is probably going to be like really even. I'm not really too sure like how like their play style is when it comes to GSC matches, but I feel as though throughout this matchup both the bagging is going to be pretty even to say the least. Tunes running, yes, I would have to agree. I haven't really seen him bag before, but I do know that Tunes does spend his time trying to improve his lines on most of the tracks. Tunes is a really nice person to have in the community, and I just think Tunes is the wild card for this team in today's matchup. It'll be very interesting to see what he can provide with leadership and just the basics when it comes to winning some matches up in the GSC. um Personally, I'm not sure what Alex is capable of when it comes to leading the team, but he is top of the list for a reason, so I guess we're gonna have to see and find out. um Alex being one of those people to look out for on BT, but we also got some strong competitors that they are going up against, so it'll be very interesting.
Yeah, I'm very much excited to see. I feel like this match will kind of like set a tone in a way of like how the seasons will go. I'm really hoping that it'll be a close match. I don't really expect a blowout from either side, to be honest. I think it will be relatively competitive.
Yeah, I'd
So
say
I'm
this
very excited
match
to
will
see how it
be
goes.
pretty close, especially for week one. We have seen a lot of close matches in week one in the last season of GSC. So I'm very excited to see what they bring to the table. And oh my God, the excitement is just in the air, Evasive. Can I tell you? Like, I'm just so excited to see both teams run it out on the tracks that they decide to, choose for their spots. And it's gonna be very, very epic. I just have high hopes for this match. Can
Yeah,
I
I
tell
do
you?
too. Yeah, no, absolutely, man. No, I'm feeling the energy as well. Like, we're gonna like, especially like just throughout the season as well. We're like hoping to get like a lot more like lower division matches casted. So it's just be very exciting just to see the action go down there and kind of like put on the lower let the low div players get the spotlight a little bit more. So I'm very excited for sure.
Oh yes, indeed. Right now we are seeing them fill up. We got 6 members already in the room. Everyone has excitement in the air. You know, just looking at the stats of both teams, I really feel like both these teams have something to prove during this season. We've seen V finish out in 4-6, and for Baja, as you said, they were kind of getting blown out by other teams, but as you mentioned earlier, they are looking to redeem themselves. So all in all, this is going to be a powwow. It is going to be who's gonna make the good plays, who's going to make the game changers throughout this match. And like I said before, it's gonna be a real big match to see as we wait for the rest of the members to join the room.
Yes, sir. I'm very excited, and just something to also point out as well. We have like a lot of matches coming up just for the weekend in general. I believe. Okay, so I believe we have prediction streams lined up for Friday at some time. That hasn't been like fully confirmed yet, but we're starting to get that organized.
Oh, for the
Just to keep
fantasy draft, right?
for the fantasy drafts, you
Yeah,
gotta
gotta
you
get
gotta
those
make
fantasy
sure.
points in.
Yeah, man. I already, fun fact I will say, I did do like a fantasy thing with people with MY13. And not gonna lie, I feel like my team is pretty solid. So I'm very excited to see how that goes down. But I know a lot of people are also like just curious about like just the predictions in general, because like a lot of people in the GSC server have been making predictions. So prediction streams will definitely set the tone and how people will make their picks and fantasies and stuff like that, and just kind of like the expectations really for all the divisions, which is very exciting.
Oh yes, indeed. Very exciting indeed. Everyone making their predictions so they can get their fantasy points. I know how it is. I participate in a couple fantasy leagues in regards to sports. So the fact that we do actually have a fantasy draft in Mario Kart just brings a smile to my face overall because you love to see it. You love to see players compete for that title to be the MVP for their squad, and it's always nice to have that dream team battling it out and just taking names, as I like to say.
Yeah, exactly. Very excited for the prediction streams to come on Friday, and then I'm pretty sure like during the weekend we have like decent amount of matchups. I don't know if they're like fully for all of them for full out confirmed, but we should at least have like 2 to 3, maybe even 4 matches during the weekend. So y'all should definitely stay tuned for those when they come around as well.
Yeah, stay tuned to Mario Kart Boards, the #1 place to keep up to date with all of GSC happening this season.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm very curious to see why they're actually not joining the room. Actually, I'm hoping there's no issues or anything like that, but hopefully they will start to join soon enough so that we don't have to like wait too long here.
We do got another member from BT, Hedwig, just join on in. And it's looking like the room will be full of the runners. Yep, all the runners coming in. I don't think, isn't it supposed to be, alternating spots? I'm not sure if Sasek caught the memo or not, but yeah, maybe there was a disconnect and probably ran into a problem with the spacing, of course. But it's starting to look like it's filling, so we're gonna get to the match right away. As said before, I'm very excited to see what both teams bring to the table. This is going to be a wild ride, right, Evasive?
Yes, sir. And I'm very excited for this wild ride. Now, Usk, I have a question for you here, man. Who do you think is gonna win this match? Give me some insight, some questions, just anything that's coming to your mind of who do you think will come out on top in this match?
Well, I think the brand new team coming from V-Dollar, they were taking a while to, recruit some of these members to their squad, and I think they've developed a great chemistry. I think I'm choosing V-Dollar for this match. I'm not, showing any disrespect to the other team, but I just personally believe that they have what it takes to actually win matches, and we're about to see it right in front of our face. But yeah, personally, V-Dollar is probably going to take this match, but that's just my prediction.
Love to hear that. That sounds great, man. So we do see V Dollar get the odd spots and BT get the even spots. So I believe VS is hosting. Yeah, so VS is hosting. I'd imagine. Oh, we see a DDR pick and okay, DDR is not too bad.
Yeah, I would say DDR is pretty good in regards to catching back up into the pack. You do have the ultra cut toward the end of the race that you can take in the beginning of the next lap. But I just it's an interesting track to say the least to start off on, especially being the home team. But RBC does get picked, so I guess they're gonna have to try to get their next track pick in the next race. So let's see what happens. We got RBC.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see just the beginning of this, just to see how if they do any type of lineups to try to draft each other or anything like that. We're on Rick's POV, and it does not. He seems like he's going for the draft. He gets it. And he gets a box in like third and fourth. He pulls a TC. Ooh, this is gonna be a little bit critical here. He does pass it to Alex, so very good job on him. Hopefully, he can try to avoid it and not get it passed back.
Yeah, BT ends up passing it away, still holding on to first place. Rick still holding on to second. It's looking like BT is trying to break away on RBC, holding out a Nana, probably trying to slow down Rick for many reasons, of course, trying to get him out of the second place position. I do believe one of the BT members did get shelled, I do believe, as Rick does back in Nana tight, ends up getting somebody on the spiral, and V-Dollar taking the top 2, maybe even top 3, heading out of lap 1, of course. But that could all change very rapidly because, this is Mario Kart Wii. You can't just expect that V-Dollar is going to stay top 3 forever. But it's looking pretty clean so far on Rick's end, holding a Nana out and, setting the traps where he needs to set them.
Yeah, something to point out as well. The bagging battle, it's been all BT so far. So I like noticed at the very beginning that the bagger for BT Claus just immediately made the strat while Noah was struggling for a long time. I want to say I believe he does possibly have the shock. He is still going backwards, but he is intense. So
Yeah.
I want to say that he does have shock, but it is possible that Noah could cheese shock in ninth. So.
Yes, indeed, indeed. All right, so V-Dollar still holding their own. They are 2-3 currently. The PAL does come in effect. I do believe that was V-Dollars. I don't know. It's hard to
Possibly.
tell. Very hard to tell, but the PAL doesn't really do much if it was BT's PAL, but Tunes running up in first. I messed up earlier. I thought it was a V-Dollar member, but it was actually BT. But V-Dollar does have the mid spots, controlling the race. Unfortunately, pulling the TC in third, and we hate to see that. Could
Really, really
potentially lose a spot
unfortunate.
right here.
Yeah, and something to point out about the shock as well. Neither bagger has it at the moment. They both of them did respawn again. So I believe the BT bagger is still, yeah, he's still going for steps once again for the second time around. Arc is close to him now, so that's they're gonna be a little bit closer on that end. But we do see someone in the star. We see one of the VS members get ahead of Rick now. We have a
Yeah,
3-4
V-Dollar
for
getting a nice
VS.
star in the BT as they now take
There's
two,
a
three,
shock.
four. Oh,
Oh,
but there's the shock. I'm guessing that is a BT shock. Ends up getting both V-Dollar members off the map, and then BT rolls right in. This could be a winning race for BT if they secure the
oh, they
mid
did it.
spot, and it's looking
We're
like
going.
they do. BT Alex does end up getting last though, but if BT does get 2, 3, 4, we could see our first winning race by BT.
Oh
Very
man,
excellent
that
shot
ending
call.
was. Yeah, I mean, yeah, even like typically like with that shock, like they depending on where like the people are getting TS from, like they'll grow quicker. But in that scenario, it was like literally like perfect for BT. They like just were able to get up there. We saw a little bit of floundering at the line over there. Some people hitting some nanas that I personally believe they could have maybe avoided, but they
Yeah,
were
it
just
could.
like really like maybe just tunnel vision, just focused that they didn't want to like get wheelie bumped or anything like that. But nonetheless, very good like last second shot call for BT because they pretty much got it like within the last 20 maybe 25 seconds from there because they both of them did do respawn like in the middle of lap 3, so none of them had it, and then they just got it at the end. So a good 9 point win for BT in race 1.
Yeah, good win for BT in race 1. Something to point out, Tunes really showing a running capability, held down the floor in first place most of the race. I cannot tell you how hard it is to run RBC at times in times like these, especially during a GSC match.
Yeah, I mean sometimes the nerves can hit. You know, you maybe like drift a little bit too tight, you hit the little corner, or you hit the wall, or just something, and then next you know you're like in third or fourth now. So very good job on his part. Really interesting track picks here. We see VS all go for BC3, and then we see a hybrid mix of Summit and Maple, and it does pick Summit from the BT side.
Yeah, BT kind of a little shaky on their track selections. I did see a lot of different tracks on that list, but DK Summit is the selection, so I guess we're going to find out if they can hold their own on this track as the race is now starting. Tunes still holding on to first as he does get the full startup boost and heading into the cannon.
Yeah, I feel like this race is really gonna come down to who can like do double consistently. See a little bit of a flounder there from Rick, but I'm very much expecting Bobby to be able to do double, and I'm curious to see like if the other BT members follow along, like Hedwig or any of the other ones.
Yeah, very curious indeed. And Tunes, oh my goodness, ends up getting hit off by V-Dollar, and now Rick takes over 4. V-Dollar is 2, 3, 4. Very good spots for V-Dollar heading into the next lap, and you know, we're gonna have to see. Is it gonna hold together? Like you said earlier, Bobby does have the potential to make the double, as you know, it is crucial to take double on this track because you do want to run this track as best as you can, because you know it can be a little jank at times. Sometimes the slopes can you know, mess you up, especially when you're getting high air. But both teams really playing it safe right now. I don't really see anybody taking any risk.
Yeah, I mean it is Division 6, so like then again you're not gonna be expecting every single runner to like go for double like you would in Division 2 or Division 1. But I do like at least that if they are playing it safe, they are not really losing their spots. However, we do see a top 2 now from VS. We see Rick slow down, and
Oh
we
yeah, both of
see
them slowing down before they enter the cannon. I'm guessing.
oh
Oh
he
yes,
dodges.
and
Oh,
they
that's
actually
huge.
dodged the shock in the cannon. I'm pretty much assuming that that
Wow.
was BT shock. V-Dollar just ends up reading the play very well, and now Rick has a wide open room to run the rest of the track with ease. Hopefully V-Dollar can get some mid spots so they can get their first winning race.
Yeah, we see Tunes here. Oh, he gets hit by the red. He still has a golden though. I imagine. Oh, okay. So you can still golden up towards his end part here. But it's most likely a lot of the. It's a little bit of a mixed spots, but I'm like pretty sure that VS does have at least first. Maybe they got third, they got overtaken, but overall very solid race from VS there. Really good shock prediction. I really like the just slowing down there and making sure to get into cannon with BT when they know that they likely have shock. So
Yeah,
very
even
good
though
heads up
that
play
you,
on them.
yeah, even though that you can't get the shock, like you just gotta figure out a certain way to try to get back into the race. And V-Dollar does a great job predicting that they were gonna use that shock in that cannon, as you know, cannon tracks are very crucial for the shock user to make sure that it helps their team to the best of their capabilities. V-Dollar ends up
Ooh.
getting 1-3-4, firing back at BT with the exact same result. I do believe it should be tied up, but
No, it's actually a little bit more of a winning race for VS. They ended up getting 1-3-4-5. BT ended up getting bottom
okay.
three, so it was even a better race for VS. So VS will be up by about 8-ish points. So they do take up the lead from race one. So a little bit going back and forward. That's what we like to see in these type of matches. You know,
Yeah, we
close
love
matches,
to see
close
this. This
wins.
is great. This is absolutely something that I was expecting. Both teams on paper, they just have that certain firepower that I'm looking for. This is like something that you can't really tell who's going to win. It's not going to be like no landslide victory for either team. It's going to be a battle, and it's going to be fought very hard. And I think V-Dollar, you know, taking the advantage, they didn't really get their track selection, but they really took a big advantage by predicting that shot call.
Yeah, and now we do see really interesting track picks. We see running tracks from V-Dollars, you know, typical Moonry Highway, and we see some reset tracks from BT. And again, I'm pretty sure it's 3 track picks in a row so far for BT. So they're getting really lucky with the track picks here, and they get a reset track.
Yeah, taking it back to the garden. We're going to have to see how V-Dollar is going to respond with this reset because, you know, running Peach Gardens, it's not no treat. Like, sometimes you just got to, you know, bag for a set, get a shroom, take the flower bed cut, and just hope for the best. But we see V-Dollar kind of slowing down at the set, ends up pulling a fib, ends up throwing it away. But, you know, as mentioned before, Peach Gardens, very hard track to run. It's definitely one of those good reset flat tracks, and you know it's very
Oh,
how do
wow.
I say, it really all depends on who pulls the shock, let me tell you.
Yeah, I mean, we do see a little bit of a breakaway from top two. Believe one of them is a VS member and the other one is headway. Yeah, so I believe Kato is the one that has that tag. He's gonna be in first, and then we see Headway in second. So overall, kind of mixy spots. We do see a POW come in. Doesn't seem like it'll affect too much. We do see 2 BT members in Mega. There might be a lap 2 shock. Does not seem likely. And overall, just kind of mixy spots. No one's the only 2 people really bringing away is that top 2. But if there's a blue being thrown at any point, you know that can be really helpful for VS here.
Yeah, very helpful indeed, especially because of those top 2 runners breaking away from the rest of the pack.
Yeah, and this item right here, double shrooms, you know, right before. Oh, he avoids. Okay, he uses 1 shroom to avoid the TC. Very good call. He still maintains 1 shroom for the cut unless shock happens. So BT in a prime position to be in good spots. Oh wow, direct didn't even connect with them. That's crazy. We
Yeah,
still
BT
see.
now takes over 2-3. V-Dollar holds the first place position. I don't think
Oh, Rick
anyone
and the Bill.
has the shock. Yes, Rick does end up pulling the bill, which is very huge for the baggers, of course. Um, but I don't think shock is in play. And if so, nobody really has any dodges to dodge up. We do see
Tunes got
Rick
mega there.
Struman up through the grass. V-Dollar is in 3-4. I believe they end up getting first, so I think that is another winning race for V-Dollar.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really. I'm very surprised because I did see the BT bagger as well. Like he hit the chain shot in lap three, so like obviously he didn't have it then. It seemed like he was in 10th for the most part, so maybe he's kind of just like not getting lucky with boxes in 10 for some reason because Noah's been behind him a lot of the time. But very good race for VS. We do see a 1-3-4-6, very solid for VS here.
Yeah, very solid indeed. Another 1-3-4. That's gonna, take a toll on BT, but not so much, not so much. They do still have another race in the first GP, so we'll have to see. Is BT gonna fire back with a nice top three or a top two? I feel as though that V Dollar was able to get the shock in that scenario, but I think it might have been pulled very late heading into lap three. The baggers did seem to be pretty close to each other as I took a glance at the mini map. So, all in all, very good running for V Dollar at the start of GP1 in these first three races.
Yeah, and like I feel like a key point to like point out is that it's been all BT tracks. There's been zero
Yeah,
VS
lit.
tracks, and so far VS have just been like not necessarily dominating them, but they've been like just getting good races based off like their track picks. And I'm pretty sure we are seeing. Oh no, this is a VS track. Yeah, this is a VS track for once. Okay,
Oh
well
yeah, so
VS
we
get
got
their track
another
pick.
VF track. Well, actually, yeah.
It's the
So
first track.
track,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. So Coconut Mall. Yeah, Coconut Mall, it's a very heavy skill-based running track. I'm very curious to see what V Dollar has in store. I know when I personally play this track, it's not so much one of my favorites, but it can be very rewarding to run this track, and I'm pretty sure that's what V Dollar had in mind when they were choosing this. So it'll be very interesting to say the least who comes out on top. But yeah, this is CM.
Yeah, I keep thinking on that. This is a sitting track for the baggers, so I feel like this will help out Noah in a way because he's been falling behind a little bit in the bagging battle. Sitting track, he'll be able to like compete a little bit more. We do see a bomb get thrown, does not connect with anyone, and I imagine Rick would just chain his shroom here just to get like a different type of item. No, he opts to hold
Oh,
it
he
just for the
decides
cut.
to
Okay.
hold it, takes the chance of taking a regular cut, and successfully actually does it. So V Dollar holding on to 3-4-5 at the moment. I believe BT is owning all the top spots for this track, maybe even top two. And we don't. Tong is actually running it up in first place. BT, Alex right behind him, as we see V Dollar all in mid spots, and
Yeah,
that
I
is
believe.
something that you like to see.
Yeah. No, it is something you do like to see. I believe it is a bottom three for BT at the moment. Sorry to cut you off there, but I believe it's. I'm not too sure who has Shock. It just seems like both baggers were still there, so
Well,
BT
as you
might be
mentioned
in a little bit
before,
of a
it is,
bad spot.
you know, as you mentioned before, it is one of those tracks where you do have to sit at the set, and that is kind of unfortunate for the baggers. But I, I really it'll be interesting, and I
Oliver
think that
Shock.
might have been BT Shock, as we do see one of them dodging a bill, running it up, sweeping in. That is Sasic taking over first place, but V Dollar still holding into the mid spots. We do have a 2-3, and I think I saw a blue shell.
Yeah, there's a
Yes, the
blue
blue
shell. Oh, he
shell
stopped. Oh my God,
doesn't
that was a
taste it,
good.
but he does stop on the boost panel, causing some mess ups over here. V Dollar ends up taking over first, and we have BT Tunes taking second, but I think that's another winning race for V Dollar.
Yeah, I mean that blue getting into what do you call when VS threw the blue and then it also connected with one of VS's runner. That was a solid play. Ideally, he was just waiting on the boost panel, but ended up even benefiting him a lot more, connecting onto Rick. But that ending was a little bit interesting. Tunes was in a mega and he opted not to go for like the boost pad thing, maybe because his teammate was there. But we did see like at the very end that Bobby and I'm pretty sure another VS member were like pretty close to him. So maybe he could have swerved and tried to hit someone to like get a better race, but we do just see a bunch of mixed spots. A 1-3-5 for VS. So very, very interesting race for the most part. Still winning race for VS. So far in the GP, they're just doing really good.
Yeah, very, very well played by V Dollar in the very first GP. The score reflects 135 to 109. Very interesting. Very interesting. V Dollar did opt to choose CM for, their advantage, and it actually paid off, even though BT actually ended up getting the shock.
Yeah, I mean, it was a decent shot call. We did see someone dodge and Bill. I believe like another the Daisy. I think it's Hedwig. He dodged somewhere up there, but the blue was kind of just unfortunate. It was really lucky pull for VS to get that blue to kind of like mitigate the damage, and ended up getting like a small winning race out of that. We're starting to see a little bit of a gap now, as I believe BT is down. I can't do quick math. I want to say 26. I'm not 26, 36? No, 26. I believe it's 26. We do see Maple Treeway get picked.
Oh yes, Maple Treeway. I think wasn't this it was a V Dollar choice, right?
I believe so,
For
yeah.
1-3, this is a very huge track, and they do have most of the alt spots off of that CM selection, as mentioned before, coming to their advantage. But Maple Treeway, it can be a little finicky. Personally, a lot of people like to call this the CTs of RTs, and it does show at times. We do see some janky physics, but very solid very solid
Wow.
track, very beautiful, and I'm not even gonna explain it. It's just, to me, it's a very solid track. That's all I gotta say. But
Yeah,
Tunes ends up taking out one of the V Dollar members and now is running it up in first place, followed by one of his teammates. I believe that is Hedwig.
yeah. I mean, Tunes in that turn right there, you avoided both the Nana and the Fib from Kato, and then just read. Oh my God, that was a really good
Ooh,
backspam from
very
Hedwig
dirty back
there.
green by Hedwig. Nice play to get him right off the ramp. Does not get the boost, but fortunately for Rick, he did hold a shroom, so he was able to accelerate back into the action.
Yeah, and we see Rick with triple shrooms here. Someone's in the mega behind him. I imagine it wouldn't cause so much of an issue. We see one of the baggers get to set first, I believe. Or I'm not too sure where the other bagger is actually, but we do see old Rick trying to avoid the
Ooh.
red with the Wiggler. Does not happen, unfortunately. Has to burn the other shroom.
Yeah, that is another thing to take precaution of. You do gotta watch out for those course obstacles, especially those wigglers, because oh my goodness.
Oh
And
my goodness!
BT
Wow.
Alex opting to stop in a mega to slow down Rick, ends up paying off
And the
in
red.
Hedwig with the back red. Wow, that was very intense, very well played by BT.
Yeah, that was really solid, and I'm curious to see if there is going to be a cannon shock, possibly. Not too sure. Do you see
Yeah, we do
Tong in
see
the
V Dollar in the
star?
star and Rick in the cannon. Not
No
sure if V
shock.
Dollar has possession of the shock. It might be going back to BT for the shock.
Yeah, we just see Rick holding a POW. We're gonna be switching over to tunes. You do see Bobby in first, so there is a good sign in VS as they have two in the bottom 8 spots.
Mm-hmm.
See Rick still holding that POW for a very curious why he's holding that POW for that long.
I
Yeah, he
imagine
opts to
he would
use it
use it right
finally.
here. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So opted to try to go for the target pal, does not really pay off, but V Dollar does end up getting the first place spot. Rick ends up squeezing out fourth. And yeah, I think that was a pretty even race to say the least. I'm not sure who held possession of that shock, but I'm I'm assuming BT had it the whole entire way.
I would imagine so. I mean, we did see like when I believe it was Rick, or no, it was the other VS member in the star. He did end up starring Noah as he was going for the respawn. So I believe that VS did not have the shock, and we do see a 1-4-6-7. Not really the greatest race for VS. They at least hold on to first, which is good. We see Bobby with a very solid 55 points in 5 races. Love to see that from him. That's kind of
Oh
what you
yeah,
expect from a
the
player
newest
that comes from
pickup.
D1. Yeah, the newest pickup. Bagging for the high div teams and now running into low div. So far, he's doing pretty well.
Yeah, as mentioned before, very interested to see how Bobby does fare in this season's GSC. As you mentioned, 55 points, and I believe that was and we have a disconnect. Unfortunate. Rick was the
Unfortunate.
disconnect. So we are gonna see a reset from V Dollar. Hopefully, Rick can get that situated. But yeah, as mentioned before, it is very interesting to see Bobby play for V Dollar as a runner. As you said, he was playing as a bagger previously, but It's showing off. I mean, he's running pretty well. He's holding it down, and V Dollar is very appreciative to have this member on their squad.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what you expect from Bobby. And something to point out as well is that there just hasn't really, aside the blue from CM, I don't really recall ever seeing that many other blues, which is a little bit. I don't know. I just feel like blues would be at least a little bit more common. And so far in like the past 5 races, we've only really seen one blue, which had a little bit of an impact as well.
Yeah,
So
that blue is crazy, honestly. Stopping on the boost panel, I understand why he did it, but it really caused a lot of commotion. And maybe for the worse for BT, because quite frankly, I really thought they had that race in the bag.
yeah, and something to point out as well, it was actually Hedwig that DC, not Rick. So
Oh,
it
okay.
was indeed a BT reset. But
So it was a BT
nonetheless,
reset. Okay.
yeah, nonetheless, though, a reset happening. I feel like in a way it kind of helps BT in this scenario that there was a reset, just so that they could get a little bit of like a mental reset, because they're not down by that much. They've been having kind of close races, but I feel like at this point in the war, you can like in the middle of the war, pretty much, you can kind of like talk a little bit more about strats, talk a little bit more about like the mentality and like just in general, just like try to get back into it in a way and make sure that you're like staying strong and not feeling like you're starting to like really like tilt or anything like that. So in a way, I feel like it helps BT.
And not to mention, it is very early on. I mean, they do still have a couple more races left of GP number 2. Um, as you said before, getting their heads back into the game and just, easing off a little bit, not being so mad at each other. Sometimes that can cause a little bit of issues for teams that are trying to, eliminate their competition. Sometimes players can get in the way of each other, but yeah, I personally believe that this will be very huge for BT to try to get back, put their heads back in it. And quite frankly, they have been making good plays. They just have not been able to hold on to the good spots, which, V Dollar has been doing very well on securing those top spots.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with that. It's like we're at least at the very least, like for in terms of shot count, it's kind of like been a little bit more on the BT side for the most part, but it hasn't really been like the only like really effective race that I had was on RBC pretty much, and maybe a little bit of CM, but like even then, like CM, it was a VS winning race, so like the only really effective shot that they've had so far has been on RBC. So I'm hoping if they do constantly keep getting shocks, they would utilize it in a way that can help them benefit more and get more points.
Yeah, maybe BT is going to have to try to get some more Dodgers or, just try to get BT up there so they can run and just hold it because, if the bagger is getting the shocks, it is very crucial for BT to hold if they are running in the top positions. But we haven't really seen that throughout these matches. V Dollar has been keeping up with them and it's showing. It's showing on the scoreboard and, you know, they're just playing it really well.
Yeah, 100% agree. Would like to see. I'm curious what's going on with the room. Why are they not joining? We have a cast going on. We have people waiting. Come on now. Oh, we do. Okay, interesting. We do see Rick leave the room. Maybe he's letting another VS member join instead. But nonetheless, little quick shout out to the chat. We love the chat. We always love you guys. Appreciate you
Yes,
guys for giving us
absolutely. Thank you
little.
all so much for tuning in for this GSC Week 1 matchup of VS versus BT. You guys are absolutely amazing, and we hope that you guys are enjoying this cast. I know I am, and so is Evasive. So, always happy to put on a show for the MKWii community as, both of these teams are really trying to get that first up to put on their record sheet. This is very, very exciting.
Yes, sir, it is. In the meantime, while they're waiting, something to wait. Actually, I could be wrong about this. Yeah, I could be very wrong. Okay, never mind. I will just not mention that at all. Okay, we do see Rick at least joining the room, so there is some progress there. He joins fifth, so at the very least, we're slowly but surely getting there. There's a little bit of anticipation, kind of just anxiously waiting, but we'll get there soon enough. It always takes a little bit of a while to get everything set up, but we're here. We're all here for it. So
Yeah, we're all, riding on the path to greatness. And in this case, we're driving on the path to greatness. So, as soon as the room gets all filled up and started, we can all ease off that pain and just relax and watch some quality competitive 5v5 gameplay from both of these teams. Shout out to both of them. They have been playing really well up to this point. I don't know. It does seem very likely that BT will make a comeback, but they just gotta put their heads in the game. They can't be raging at each other. They can't go off on one another. They just have to, pick up the pace. I know that some of their players have been making really good plays, but it's just, this is do it. Like, we gotta do this. You've been practicing this for all this time. We've been off, and it's definitely showing on the score sheet. And I personally think that we might see a huge race from BT coming up next. I'm not too sure, but
Yeah, that's
it
all we can hope for.
it might just happen. It might just happen.
Yeah, exactly, and especially because I believe that BT is the only one that I might be. I know Hedwig plays Daisy. I don't know if they have maybe Sasaki is another Daisy. I would hopefully like to see them like pick BCW at some point if they do get like good spots. Really curious to see if those two runners can do the glitch. I want to say Hedwig kind of can, and then I'm not too sure if Sasaki can, but nonetheless, I'm just very excited to get into the match. We do see 10 in the room, and it is starting, so we're getting right back
Yes,
into it.
let's get into it. We are heading into, I believe, race 7.
Yes, race 7, or it might be race 6 actually. I believe it is race 6.
Okay, so race 6. So heading on into race number 6. Both V-Dollar and BT having a reset. BT was the first team to use the reset due to a disconnect. So very interested to see if, they can recalibrate and get back where they started. Because, that very first race that we did see, it was a pretty big race for them. And, as you said before, most of the shocks, the one on RBC was probably their best throughout this whole entire match. So I guess we'll see how the shock will interfere with V-Dollar in the rest of these track selections.
Yeah, and when we're going to the what you call the hot dry ruins or dry ruins, and very very excited to see this track in particular because I feel like this is a really techy track, and in a division as not necessarily the lowest division, but like just in low div, this track, just seeing like how the players drive and go about things is really really intriguing in my opinion. So see Rick immediately with a mega. I'm curious to see if he's just gonna hold this. I would imagine he just burn it. But yeah, nonetheless, I'm very excited to see the driving of these runners in this track.
Oh yes, indeed, indeed. We do see V-Dollar kind of struggling early on, taking 6-7. But as you said
Oh,
earlier, I'd imagine Rick would burn this mega, but I believe he will probably
oh,
hold on to it until he gets to the ramp. Uh-oh. Rick making a little
oh.
bit of hiccups here early on. Hedwig ends up sweeping in with some triple greens around his motorcycle. uh, Rick does end up pulling triple shrooms, does burn the mega at that set,
You almost
but
made that
now we're seeing
shrimpless.
a little bit of some miscommunication from V-Dollar. They are sitting in bottom spots, 7-8, and BT holding on to most of the mid spots.
Oh, okay. I'm curious to
Rick
see why he
does
just
end up
used
pulling a
the.
golden.
Yeah, and I'm surprised that he used it that early. I would imagine he just. Oh wait, is that a pen? Oh no no no, that
Ooh.
was Arc. That was Arc. Never mind. It was his own bagger. I'm curious to see why he didn't opt to like just hold the mega just for the ultra. I mean, not necessarily the worst thing. He did catch up to 4, and we do see Tong and Bobby in top 2, so not the end of the world. But I feel like he could have maybe even got to 3rd if he used it there. He hits a nano, unfortunately, slowing down a little bit more, and he gets greened by his teammate.
Ooh.
Oh no.
Team kill is never a good sign for things to come, but it happens at times, especially in the lower divs. We do see BT in a star. I'm not too sure if BT does have possession of the shock or not, but now Rick holding a TC, slowing down Sasik as he is in 8th, but Sasik able to avoid it, and Rick probably gonna get last here if you know
Yeah.
things don't really go his way.
Interesting
But
spam
the
shot.
shock is used, and Rick does end up dodging up in a star. So probably gonna end up clutching out with 7th place. I'm not too sure what the other positions are, but we do see V coming in 6, 7, so we'll see what the standings say.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of a late shock. I don't really think it did that much to the top spots. I believe Bobby and Tong did just hold on to top two. Toons was in third, while Rick was trying to pass that TC, I believe, and then the rest of the BT members were kind of all over like mid spots. Yeah, so we do see a top two from VS, and then a 6-7.
All right.
Winning
So
race
another
nonetheless.
winning race for VS. Wow. Very, very nice to see. I'm guessing they did have possession of the shock, but that could be that could have been pulled probably late during lap 2. But it was probably their better option to hold on to it. I mean, they were securing that top 2 spot, so they didn't want to get rid of it, and a chance for BT to dodge up, especially on a track like DDR. As mentioned before, the ultra cut is a very huge time saver, especially for the lower divs, if
Yeah,
used
exactly.
correctly.
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely. If you're a T tier, like it's definitely beneficial in a division like this. Curious to see the track picks really. I mean, okay, we see Moonview Highway, we're pretty good for top two, and then we see more recent tracks from BT. That's kind of just been the story. We've just been seeing BT just pick recent tracks for the most part. They've like not really chosen like a running track for the most part, just because they haven't really gotten any like solid spots for any
Yeah,
of
they
them.
haven't
But
really have any runnable positions to actually run most of these tracks. And we do see another V track selection. We do have Moonview Highway. So it'll be very interesting to see, because I know some of the cars on Moonview, they can be very hard to avoid at times, especially in the lower divs.
yeah, I remember specifically casting a match last season, and there was like a total of like 5 to 6 car hits. So curious to see how it will hold up in this match with all the cars being around. We already see someone get hit by a car, I believe, and we see Rick
Yeah.
Golden all the way up to first. So very good job, very good usage of that Golden from him.
Oh yeah, that is very crucial, especially on Moonview. If you get a golden first set, your best option is to use it right away, because Moonview Highway has an abundance of boost panels, so it is definitely one of those running tracks that is very rewarding if you're in the front.
Yeah, and we see Tunes here with 2 shrooms. BT members 2, 3, 4, pretty solid spots at the moment. We do see the rest of VS right behind Tunes here. I imagine Tunes is just gonna take the shroom
Oh,
cut.
a
We do
BT
see a
member
BT
actually
member.
run into a truck. Very unfortunate. Rick still holding it down. Starting to get a little bit of a breakaway for VS, but Tunes is riding right behind him, so we'll see if BT can pull a blue shell and try to ruin Rick's running. But
The
Rick doing very well
oh,
up
the
in the
side
front,
red.
and ooh, the
That's
side red
huge.
coming in, even though Tunes had a Nana, and now taking another red shell because he lost his Nana. That is very unfortunate. Rick still holding on to first place. I'd imagine so, as I'm looking at the map. There is a pound effect for BT. I'm not sure if that
Oh,
really did any damage on V but probably best to get rid of it, as now he has a mega in 5th. V does hold 1-3 at the moment. The mega is used by Tunes. BT holding on to 2-4, and if Rick can just hold on to first, I think this will be enough. Oh, there is another. Oh, there's a blue shell in the air.
yeah, and it might
Could be
reach him
huge
as
for
well. There's a
BT.
shock and
Shock
a
does come into
pow.
play. I'm not sure if that was BT shock or not. It
Okay,
looks like it
Rick.
might have been, but the shock did kind of cancel the blue shell blast, so Rick was able to still hold on to first place. Very huge for V.
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, yeah, I believe he did hold on to first, but we did see Bobby and possibly another VS member in the back. So overall, not necessarily the most optimal spots. It was good that Rick did hold on to first for the pretty much the entire race. Very good job on him for not hitting the cars and being able to like stay alive for the most part. But I'm pretty sure like the rest of the BT members got up there with that shock, because I believe it was a BT shock if I'm seeing it
Yeah, BT
correctly.
ends up
Yeah.
getting 2-3 off of that shock, but Rick holding his own for V getting first place and a 1-4-6. So it's always nice to see V taking what they deserve. They were able to run the track, they didn't really make any mistakes, and they just took advantage.
Yeah, I mean, like we did see some car hits, mainly from BT, but there was also some from VS. I believe Kato hit like a car in like lap 3 and then just got squished and he was just like in the back. But yeah, in lap 2 I believe that's when we saw like the 234 that BT originally had. Both 2 people there hit cars and then Tunes was like a little bit on his own for a while. So not exactly what you like to see, you know, but at least BT is still in it. The 30-point
Yeah,
deficit's
only
not the
down
end of the
30
world.
points. This is pretty much crunch time at this point.
Yeah, I mean they're just still about what 4 races? Yeah, 4 to 5 races left. Down 30, and I believe I don't know whose track pick that is. Oh,
This
that's a
is
VS
very
track pick.
winnable. Another
Yeah,
VS track pick. So VS probably taking over when it comes to the track picks. I have seen a lot of VS tracks during this reset that we had from BT, which is very huge for them because, you know, BT was starting to get most of the track picks in the beginning, and now it's sort of, you know, starting to turn in VS's favor. So we're very
oh,
interested to see if
unfortunate.
VS can still hold on to those top spots. We do see them in top 5 right now as BT holds on to 3-4.
Yeah, I
And
mean
yeah,
they could have easily been top 3, but you know, there's just a little bit of slight miscommunication there. Like we did see Kato like outline Rick a little bit, and he ended up getting bumped into the grass. Nonetheless, though, top 2-4 now, as I believe Bobby. Oh,
ooh,
Bobby gets some 2-back spams, but he hits his own teammate. Do see a TC get passed, and now there's gonna be a little bit of a TC battle here. Opts to pass it to Hedwig. Maybe he has a dodge. He is in a dodge. He might be. Is that a bill? He might be billing actually. So
oh
very good
wow.
TC pass from. Yeah, that was a bill. Good TC pass from BT here. We see Tunes with a star in 8th.
Yeah, very huge to avoid getting that TC because, you know, TCs are the main reason why your
Oh,
races
that's
could
huge.
be over for the most part. But very good communication by BT. We are trying to, you know,
Early
see
shot.
them
Oh,
dodge up in the cannon, and one of them dodges up in a star. I believe that it was another BT shock. Let's see if they can actually use this to their advantage and maybe disrupt the top 2 that V-Dollar was holding for the longest.
I will say I love that shot. You get an early shot, you know, you can maybe get a second one like later in lap 3. You do get rid of the blue that Rick was holding for Bobby, I believe. So really good shot call on BT in my opinion there. We do see them in a little bit more in the upper to mid spots now. Alex unfortunately gets TC'd though, but we do see Tunes
Hmm.
here with a shroom. He does opt to shroom, hits the Nana, but Bobby's still in first, and we do see. Oh no, actually I believe no Bobby's second now actually. Yeah. Sasaki
So
overtakes him, and
BT
now
now
we.
holds on to 1-3. Tunes does end up pulling a TC, and I think BT was holding down 10th place for the most part.
Oh,
We do have
Bill.
a bill holdage from Rick, so maybe the shot can come very soon, depending on who pulls. But BT holding on to their own. They are currently 1-3, so it'll be very interesting to see how this race will finish out.
That pal was huge. That just owned Tong, and I want to say it was another VS member. I'm not too sure. I imagine Rick just
Ooh, blue
uses the
shell in the
bill
air.
here. There is a blue. If I'm
Rick
Rick here,
still
I just
holding on
use
to
my
the bill,
bill.
uses it.
There
And I
you go.
think that might have been I it's kind of hard to tell, but I think
Someone
that
gets
was a
bombed.
$3 shock. And
Oh,
oh my goodness, a back bomb. Toon's able to clutch out 4 off of that back bomb, killing 2 members before the line.
I believe that's just really good spots for BT. I believe, even though like Rick did get first, I want to say BT got the rest of the spots there because we did see a lot of VS members in the back. I think it's a good shot call from VS though. Like Rick did hold the bill for a really long time, but I believe like they used shock to cancel Bobby's blue as well, which helped. But then the back bomb just like kind of destroyed him there. Yeah, we see
Ooh.
a 1-5-6-7 from VS. Overall neutral-ish race. I believe it still favors VS in terms of points because Arc did get a bagger point as well, but
Mm-hmm.
really chaotic ending there.
Yeah, very chaotic indeed, especially with that back bomb at the end. It was very unexpected, but you know, Rick holding on to that bill, showing that, you know, it's possible to still dodge toward the end of the race as long as that second shock is pulled, and V-Dollar was able to get to it.
Yeah, yeah, no, I mean, it sucks because like BT did use the first shock, and you know they were. I imagine they used the first shock to like kind of catch up, but they also probably had the higher chance of staying in 10th to pull the second one to help them even more. But VS did get the second one in lap 3, which helped them out a lot more to cancel the blue and to dodge Rick. So it was good of Arc to get that second shock. Really, really good job of him. And now we see BC3 for I believe VS, and then a DKM for
I'd
BT, which
imagine
I
so.
think
That
is
is a
huge.
very good reset. Oh, and DK Mountain does get selected, so very huge for BT to actually get their very first track selection in a very long time. So we'll see how well this actually turns out for them.
Yeah, I believe you have the daisies in two. No, you have a daisy in third. Okay, so and yeah, I mean the spots make sense as well, but I feel like having the daisy in third helps them a little bit more, just because like daisy is easier to run on this track. We don't
Oh yeah,
really see any
especially
type of
taking that tight cut. Oh, we see Rick back in the fifth. Ends up actually getting one of his teammates instead of one of the BT members. So that is very unfortunate. But hey man, you gotta try to get those people with those back fibs because getting back fibbed is very, very cruel, especially in this game. It takes away a lot of your speed. So it was a pretty smart decision, but we do see Bobby getting in front of Rick. They now hold on to the top two position. It'll be very curious if they can make the cut very clean, and they do slow down, and both of them do make it successfully. As Rick now holds a shroom, uses it on the bridge. Very smart decision because that bridge can be very raggedy at times, and oh my goodness, if you get caught
yeah.
on that bridge, it could be GG's for you. The race could be over. But yeah, very
Exactly.
solid shroom usage as we do see Tunes heading into the cannon. V-Dollar still holding on to the top two spots. And yeah, this seems to be a very quiet race so far.
Yeah, something to point out as well. I'm not 100% sure if it's true, but they did use the POW and get Bobby in the cannon, so you might be holding a shroom there. So, if there is a blue for BT and Bobby does have a shroom, he will just be able to dodge it. So,
Hmm.
you're gonna need a little bit more than just one blue if you're BT to try to break up that top two.
Well, if BT does have the shock, it could be huge because they are holding on to 3, 4, 5. So if they can try to get V-Dollar out of cannon, this could be a very much a game changer for BT. And oh,
Oh,
never mind. V-Dollar actually pulls the shot clutch, and now V-Dollar is gonna stay comfortable in that top two spot. We do see one of the V-Dollar members actually dodging up, so this could potentially be a top three.
there is a blue throne, but I believe that the POW was used when Bobby was in the cannon, so he might still be holding on to that shroom that he's been holding on to since lap one. And even if he doesn't, he has a little bit of a breakaway. It does not seem like he dodged it, but
Yeah, not
it,
sure that blue is gonna do really much
it does
for
not.
BT,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But hey, very good
Oh,
shock
the
by
black
V-Dollar.
red.
And oh, the red ends up getting connected to one of the BT members, but you know, one of them sweeping in to secure one of those mid spots. Unfortunately for V-Dollar, they could not get that top three that they so desired. But you know, very solid race overall for V-Dollar once again. Not really much action during that race.
Not really. I mean, like you kind of just saw top two breakaway ish, and then they dodged the shock, and there wasn't really any blues either, like like earlier, so it didn't really ended up affecting them. I did like the shot call though because it did just protect top two for VS. They did, however, get bottom two as well, which is not the most winning race, but it's still a winning race nonetheless. I do like that they did kind of like play it a little bit more safe to just dodge top two rather than like try to dodge the mid spots to get a better race. So playing it safe still worked out nonetheless. Winning race for VS. And we do see Rick like getting some points up there. I'm pretty sure he was top of the leaderboard in points there so far in this GP here. So very good job on him.
Yeah, Rick really playing clutch for V-Dollar right now, especially with Bobby, the newest addition to the team. I really feel as though they have all the confidence in the world heading into this next race. But, you know, it's looking like V-Dollar seems to be very comfortable up in those top positions. It'll be very interesting to see if BT can try to fire back and try to get it like a top three or something because as I'm seeing it right now, it's they are looking very comfortable.
Yeah, I mean it's still 30 points, and there is about I want to say three races. Yeah, because this is race 10, and there's two more races after that. So BT, if they're gonna try to win this match, they're gonna have to start getting some of those swing points. You know, you're getting towards the end of the war here. It's a little bit of a crunch time scenario. We do see a BC Wii from VS, so it will be a little bit hard to break that top two. But like mentioned earlier, I believe they have two daisies. So if they can make glitch here and VS do not block it, that would be really huge for BT.
Oh yes, indeed, indeed. That glitch does really save a lot of time. So you know, it can be very crucial to block, but you know, this is the lower div, so you know, it will be very epic to see. But you know, being the Daisy main that people are, taking that cut is very easy, especially for people on Daisy Mock. So as you mentioned before, Hedwig does have some experience taking the cut, but in this case, it might be a little too risky for BT to actually go for it, but we'll see what happens. V-Dollar now does hold on to top 3. Rick ends up backing. It does connect with somebody, and BT ends up
Oh,
using a mega that was Hedwig. Speaking of which, he does end up making his rounds, heading up into the top positions, and BT now takes over in 3rd place.
yeah, so far both of our swimmers in the lower pack of the race so far, but we do see, like you mentioned, that top 3 for VS. Very, very solid from them, just being able to maintain their spots and not really lose it at the beginning. We see Tunes here in 7th, gonna opt to maybe get a dodge item. Yes, he does get a star, and I couldn't see what okay, so Arc is in 9th right now. It's possible BT could have Shock here because they're intent just chilling. They're not going for respawn. So if they were to use Shock soon, or if they were to have Shock, it should come soon as they are falling a little bit behind.
Yeah, a little bit behind, very much behind indeed. And I'd imagine that BT would try to go for the TS because V-Dollar is securing most of those top spots. But you know, they might just use early, but I guess we'll have to see. V-Dollar does have a little bit of a break looking at the map, so yeah, I'm assuming that they
Oh,
are probably gonna try to TS them, as Tunes is still holding on to that star for his dear life.
yeah, and we
Rick
do see
is
Rick
holding the
holding on the
blue.
blue. Yeah, it's huge.
Solid team play. I think maybe. Yes, they do end up getting the TS. BT does use the shock there as predicted. And now BT takes over 2-3. Bobby back in first, I think. Yes, I do believe Bobby is holding the floor in first place still. That was a very creative shot call by BT. Yeah, to get V-Dollar out of the top 2 so they can try to get a winning race out of this. Oh, and
And
we
there's a
do see the
blue.
blue
Oh my
shell.
god.
Bobby does
That's
opt to
huge.
stop, but Hedwig was able to avoid it. BT now is in top 2. The fib is a little bit wide, but his teammate is behind him. This can be the biggest race that BT has
Oh,
had this
oh,
whole
that's
entire
three.
match. And we are seeing a top 3 from BT.
That
Wow.
is huge. That is very
Huge
huge.
shot call, huge everything. The blue came into play and everything just fell into their lap. I'm not sure if Tunes did notice that his teammate was behind him, but nonetheless, at least he backed it tight so his teammate could avoid it.
Yeah, that was just that was really good on BT. That's the type of race that BT needed. They needed an exact top 3 right there. I don't know what the fourth runner got there. We will see results in a little bit. The fourth runner did get 7th. At least he didn't get 8th, but you know, top 3 helps quite a lot.
Yeah, as you
And
mentioned before, they are only down 30 points. So that was one of the winning races that they really needed. It will build some confidence, I would hope, for the BT roster. But oh my goodness,
oh,
BCWE. Very, very nice track indeed to watch. Can I tell you?
yeah, yeah. I mean, look at that scoreline now. They're only down 9.
Yeah,
Beautiful,
only
beautiful
down
stuff from
9
them.
points. That top 3 really busted down the margin, man. Really brought down the margin for V-Dollar. And now V-Dollar is thinking, we need to try to pick a track that we can fire back so we can get those spots that we've been getting.
Yeah, I mean, everything just fell in their place. The 2 Dodgers, I believe, a TS and a blue. That was just everything that BT got. Some would say a little bit of luck there, but I mean, hey, it's you know, it's Mario Kart. Some item boxes there are luckier than others. I really like these track picks. We're gonna go to RWS for a BT
Ooh,
track pick.
nice stadium track selection. This is very known for running. There's a lot of, you know, you can get a lot of speed from this track, especially from the trick ramp section. That section can be very huge if done correctly. And this track it's very runnable. Very, very runnable. And I see BT trying to take this track to their advantage.
Yeah, and I mean, we already see someone get hit from there, but BT listen first now. Actually, Rick outlined
Yeah,
someone from BT.
Rick. Oh my goodness. With the
Wow.
nice lines, crispy lines. Like I said before in the Cass, Rick has been, proven to be a powerhouse for V Dollar, and this new pickup with Bobby, I really feel as though they have built up more confidence for picking up new members.
Yeah, and I love it. We do see a cheeky little backspam from Hedwig there onto Rick. Very good job. And now we see, I believe we see a lot of the VS members in the bot. There might be, yeah, I believe BT might be top three here.
Yeah, BT might be top three. I think so, as Tunes is holding down in second place. We do see Hedwig running his track with ease. Oh my goodness, not making a single mistake whatsoever. Gets the nice trick off the ramp, and so does Tunes. So yeah, I do believe this is BT top two. I think a VS member is holding down the floor in third place, but they're gonna have to try to get them out of top two somehow. Maybe a shock from V Dollar, try to TS them on the ramp or something. But and actually, Alex actually ends up passing a V Dollar member, so that they are now top three. As Tunes ends up back in a Nana type, probably trying to get one of the V Dollar members. So yeah, BT running it up on RWS. One of those tracks
Yeah.
that you do need to be in the front for. So yeah, very nice to see.
I can't even tell who exactly has shock. I mean, it's possible. I think maybe the beat. So we do see the BT bagger running right next to Hedwig. And he might just be running with him to maybe drop a star potentially because VS has shock. Not quite sure, but this last section over here is gonna be really crucial. If nothing happens, BT are gonna get like a top two and just really secure a good spots for the race.
And now we do see Tunes. Oh,
Oh, shock!
almost got target shock, but there is a blue, and it actually hits a V Dollar member, and then, I think
Oh
BT actually
wow!
got top two off of that. I'm not sure if that was according to plan, but what a finish.
What a finish indeed. I mean, I was good on Bobby to slow down there, predicting the shock, but that blue was just really detrimental for VS there. Really solid on BT's part, especially for Hedwig, just being able to run it for the most part. And
Yeah,
then,
very, very clean. Hedwig coming in clutch as RWS was selected. BT
oh
ends up
man,
getting top 2-4, and this might actually be the turning point that BT was looking for. That top three from that BC Wii race, really bringing that motivation to, help secure them winning this match. But we're gonna have to see how V Dollar is gonna respond heading into race number 12.
yeah, very last race, and I believe this is the first time in the entire war that we see a lead chain. We see BT now up by 10 going into the last race. So if you're BT, you're definitely feeling a lot more motivated. I imagine the energy in the call is just a little bit more upbeat. And if you're VS here, you've got to get a good race. You got
Yeah,
to
you
not
just
choke at the end
gotta
here.
pull it together, try to get something going, maybe try to, take out some of the BT members using some power items. I know using a mega mushroom and stopping to try to hit people, maybe swerve and try to squash them, slow them down, because right now they are hot. They are running with ease. We saw Hedwig just run it up on RWS, no mistakes whatsoever. And I gotta say, that ending was huge for
Yeah,
BT.
yeah, the ending was crazy. We're gonna see the last track of the war be played. It is Toad's Factory. Very good track for BT, and I believe Hedwig as well just has been time trial on this track, if I remember correctly. He's like
Mm.
really solid at this track.
Getting that
So
TT experience. Oh yeah.
yes, sir. So very very curious to see how this last race will develop. It is a sitting track as well, so Shock can kind of go both ways. If maybe Noah can pull a Shock here and
Oh,
change
BT
everything for
ends up popping
VS.
the back bomb. I do
Oh
believe
my
that is
God, those
Tunes.
greens! Wow,
These
got two
greens
people with
going
that.
crazy, yes, but I do believe BT is sitting very well in 1-3. Tunes is right behind Rick. They are neck and neck with each other, but Rick taking the nice lines, catching up to Hedwig with ease, but Hedwig ends up holding out a Nana to try to slow Rick down, which ends up working as Hedwig does opt to take the cut. He does make it, and Tunes is still holding on to this third place position.
Yeah, and then we're seeing in Rick's screen, oh, there is a bill in use. I'm not too
Ooh.
sure who actually built up there, but it might be possible someone has shock if there is a bill usage there. We do see Tunes with the
Tunes ends
TC.
up pulling a TC, passes it to his own teammate. Maybe he has a dodge to try to get rid of it, as he now secures his spot in 7th place. We might see V Dollar try to roll up in
Oh,
there. There is a person in a mega. I'm not sure who has possession of the shock, but they are
Oh, he
almost
passed it. That's
close
huge.
to heading in the lap 3, and there is a blue shell in the air.
He pulls another TC. No, Tunes. Oh
So many
man, that is
TCs
just
for BT. This
unfortunate.
is very unlucky, but maybe they could try to cancel it out if they had the shock. It doesn't seem like they
Oh, the
do.
greens. Oh my god. Everyone's getting hit. There's a shock for
Confused.
possibly TSing someone. I'm not too sure who shock that was.
Yeah,
Might have been
I'm really not
BT.
sure. Really not sure. We do see BT in a lot of mid spots up there, holding up to 3-4. So they can try to get those positions. This might be a GG. But I'm not gonna say anything yet because we have seen some crazy things in this event. But
Yeah. You
that
see a
shock.
red get thrown. There is a blue. Oh, that might shake things
Ooh,
up a little bit
another blue
here.
in effect.
And a POW.
The POW is used, and BT, I do believe they are still holding on to those mids.
I don't know if that's enough. No, if VS got 5-6 and last, yeah, I think it's a BT win.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
BT
wow.
secured it there.
What a comeback, BT. You know, as mentioned before, they just had to try to get their heads into the game. They just had to make sure that they were holding on to those spots. They were making the great plays earlier on in the match, and it really does show because they were able to make that comeback after that BC Wii race.
Damn, that was a really yeah. We see, top BT top 2-4. Yeah, that secures it. The first win for Division 6 goes to BT. And unfortunately, the first loss for D6 goes to VS as they do lose out at the end of that war.
Yeah,
Really
very
solid plays
unfortunate
from BT at the
for
end.
VS, but amazing teamwork from BT. Very much deserved, even though at some spots I do believe they did get a little bit lucky, in some of those races. But very huge. And shout out to BT, man. Really got the job done. And honestly, probably one of the more entertaining low div matches that I've seen this season, besides the qualifiers.
Yeah, I mean, that was really good. I will say BT instantly like just stepped it up in that like second half of the war. They did still get like a decent amount of shocks, but I feel like they were way more effective this time around, and they didn't do as many mistakes as like for example that we saw in Moonview where like 2, 3 of them hit like cars and like mid to high top spots. So overall, just really good stuff from BT towards the end, really showing a lot of resilience, which is not as common in lower divisions because like they just don't have that much experience in like war scenarios like this. This is like the first time a lot of these players are getting casted, so I imagine some nerves are into it as well. But in general, just really good just sturdiness from BT here to close out that win and catch up at the end.
Yeah, GG's all around. Both teams really put up a really entertaining battle. As mentioned before, this was one of the very first matches, even though, well, I'm sorry, not one of the first matches, but the second match of GSC in week 1. And oh my goodness, I'm just very excited to see what's coming in store for the rest of the teams battling it out this season. Very good teams in the lower divs, even though they are in the lower divs, but um, some of these teams, they really show some pizzazz. They really show that they can make that comeback, try to, help their team out as best as they possibly can. And both of them really just showing what it takes to win a race. You know what I mean? Because in Mario Kart Wii, you really do not know what to expect. And that is something I was really not expecting. But, as soon as you get some momentum, it just carries over, and that's exactly what BT did. I'm very excited to see what V-Dollar has in store for the rest of the season, and their new included member to the team, Bobby, really showed that he can have the running capabilities that V-Dollar was looking for. So this is really nice to see.
Yeah, I mean, and something to point out as well. I'm not too sure if we could actually get like the graphic of the final score. We maybe can towards the end here, but just to point out in general the individual performances, Tunes ended up getting 106 for BT, and then Hedwig and Sasak with a 98 and a 94, and Alex with a 73. So overall, not too bad. You have someone in the hundreds, so that's pretty good, and you have two people in the 90s, which is really great. And on the side of VS, we do see Bobby with a whopping 111 and Rick with a 109. But unfortunately, the rest of the teammates didn't really do as hot. We have a 73 from Kato and a 57 from Tong. So a little bit unfortunate points there for the VS member towards the end. It's kind of sucks to see that like your teammates didn't score as much, but to point out again, oh, there's a table. Look at that. Shout out to Biosh, by the way. Really great stream
Yeah,
host.
shout out to
Doing everything
Biosh. Thank
great.
you very much. Getting all the scores up right in front of it, right in front of the audience so the rest of the people can see. And yeah, oh my goodness, really down 30 most of the match. BT really surprising me with that comeback. But yeah, very well balanced scoring. Not a lot of people really like took like, how do I say, like in diving anything, because on BT's end, it looks pretty well balanced, and I really feel like they were playing together as a team, and we do see that as well on V$'s half, but just not enough points, just not enough, unfortunately, for V$ to close it out. But V$ has a lot to show us. We have seen some very nice running from most of the players in the V$ lineup, and BT, I just really feel as though they really took advantage of the items that they had and pulled, and just really just made it count for the rest of the races. It was just very, very well played from BT's end. Very nice, very well deserved, and GG's overall. That was a very entertaining match to see as we take a look at the scores. 381 to 354.
Yeah, man. It's great. Yeah, I mean, yeah, overall just a great match. Like I can't wait to see future loaded matches. I feel like this season in general for both teams is gonna be good. If you're VS, sucks to lose towards the end, but at least like you get some experience. You go back to some scrims. Cause VS, I will say VS does scrim a lot, so they will be able to like scrim within the next week or so to kind of or actually no, they have two. I always forget that there's like two matches. Every week. So they'll have a couple of days before their second match, I believe, which is maybe scheduled on Friday or Saturday. They'll have some time to like rework some things. But no, yeah, I mean overall I feel like both teams should take it as a positive, even though VS did lose. BT showed a lot of resilience, like we said. They were down the entire time, but never out. So good job on them. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing the rest of the matches. I believe the next stream that we will have is either I'm pretty sure it will be a prediction streams on Friday, and then we have a couple matches lined up from a lot of different divisions during the weekend. So any of you guys still watching here, stay in tune for that, because we will definitely be casting a lot of matches this season. So, and shout out to the chat as well. Thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate it. See you guys down there. Making a little comments and reactions. We love to see it. It's great engagements there. And thanks to Biosh for hosting. Thanks for us coming on and casting with me. It's his first ever cast, by the way. I think you killed it. Not gonna lie. I think you did very solid in
Thank
this
you
cast,
very much,
man.
Evasa. I greatly appreciate it. It's much appreciated that I was able to have this opportunity to try to, showcase some of my skill sets that I've been really trying to work for. And shout out to Evasa, man, for providing most of the information throughout most of this cast. I really could not do this without him, and it has been my pleasure to cast the very second match of GSC Season 2. So shout out to you guys, and thank you all so much for watching. We will be having some more content coming to the Mario Kart Boards channel, as mentioned by Evasive before. And shout out to you guys. You guys are, for real, the real MVPs. Thank you.
Yeah, thank all you guys, and yeah, shout out to everyone, and we'll see you next time.